Watching another SHTF survival video while mixing formula for your toddler? Planning your bug out to that hunting cabin deep in the Montana woods? Picture this. Day 2 in the forest. You're hauling 90 pounds. Half is your 3-year-old. The other half is gear you can't let go of. He's screaming so loud that the wolves 3 kilometers out just turned toward the sound. Congratulations. You just turned an evacuation into a dinner invitation. Most bug-out plans were great for one guy with no responsibilities. Now add a toddler who can't walk 10 minutes without stopping. Add diapers, bottles, and the toy he'll melt down without. Your lone wolf fantasy is dead. Today, I'm showing you 4 systems that solve this. You'll learn how to carry 90 pounds without breaking at mile 3. You'll also learn how to feed a toddler food they won't reject under stress. I show how to get a 2-year-old to stay quiet in dangerous situations through training, not force. This is about getting them to safety alive. Let's go. SHTF. You decided to bug out of the burning city. You have a family, a wife, a 10-year-old kid, and a 2-year-old. The first obvious decision is to put the toddler in a stroller, but the highway is blocked, ruined, and overflowing with the same desperate families. Pavement cracked like tectonic plates. You're pushing a $400 stroller with pneumatic tires. Inside is your 2-year-old plus 50 pounds of supplies. The front wheel jams in a crock. You pull, but the plastic snaps. The stroller's broken. The kid screams. Your wife is panicking. The teenager is angry at all of you. The gear you trusted just betrayed you, and now you have to carry a child plus bug-out gear, 90 pounds total. Unless you're a Tier 1 operator in peak shape, you're not making 500 yards. Footage from real evacuations after disasters show fathers abandoning water supplies because they couldn't lift a child and a bag at the same time. But without water, they were on a timer. This is the mule fallacy. Parents think they can just put the kid in a stroller and pile on the gear. It fails everywhere pavement doesn't exist. Your solution is a 3-layer system. Layer 1, the carrier. Not a fabric sling from Instagram. Use a structured hiking carrier with a hip belt. It distributes weight to your hips, not your shoulders. Kid on your torso, hands-free for navigation or defense. And yes, you need to buy it before you hit the fan, not a new tactical knife. That knife is also important, but useless if your toddler melts down at a critical moment. Layer 2, diaper module. A separate detachable pod clipped outside. Need to dump the main pack and run? Unclip the module. Kids stay strapped, diapers stay with you. Layer 3, the vehicle. A stroller or wagon is a luxury, not a necessity. Use it for easy miles. Pack it so when the terrain turns to mud, you grab the go bag and the kid and leave the cart. If you can't switch from rolling to carrying in 60 seconds, you get stuck in kill zones. Test yourself. Kid in the carrier, pack on, walk 5 kilometers. Feel your knees buckle? You're carrying too much fear, not enough logic. Optional ancient solution, sleds. A plastic sled drags 40 pounds across snow, mud, sand, and cracked pavement. A wheel breaks on the first obstacle. A sled won't.
Now, the thermal signature. You don't need high-tech alien drones to find you. In a collapse, the real threat is a group of looters with a $300 Chinese thermal scope. 2 human metabolic engines fused together make a massive, concentrated heat bloom. On a cold night in the woods, you aren't hidden. You are a blazing neon sign. That sign screams high-value targets with supplies right here. Countermeasure. A mylar blanket draped loosely over you and the carrier. It creates an air gap that diffuses the heat signature. To the sensor, a diffused blob appears to be either a deer or a rock. A sharp human outline looks like a target. Okay, the stroller is dead. The thermal risk is real. Now you're on foot. This is the point where your plan collapses fast. The moment you start walking with a toddler, your timeline turns into a joke. Let's talk speed and why your map is lying to you. You mapped it out. The safe zone is 15 miles away. At a normal pace, that's a 5-hour hike. You start at dawn, but the toddler wants to walk, then be carried, then needs a diaper change, then drops the toy, then you hide from strangers. By noon, you've covered 3 miles, too far from the start to go back, too far from safety to rest. Your pace isn't 3 miles per hour. With a family unit, it's 0.8. You calculated for a march, but you're in a slow crawl. The map optimist kills families. A person who looks at a topo map and sees a straight line, ignoring elevation, vegetation, and the entropy of children. Result, the parent blows out a knee carrying extra weight. The kid goes into a fatigue meltdown that breaks the silence discipline. Your plan is to go no faster than 1 mile per hour. Build a route with micro-shelters every 2 miles, places to stop, hide, and address kids' needs. To adults, use the leapfrog movement. Adult A scouts 50 yards ahead and signals clear. Adult B moves the child forward. If you're alone, stop every 10 minutes, crouch and listen. Use the stop, look, listen game with kids. Sprint zones exist. Open roads, gaps in the tree line under surveillance. You get a 30-second window to cross 50 yards. A toddler can't sprint, so you train the fireman carry. Practice it as a game. You yell, scoop, run. If they think it's fun, they hold tight, but if they think you're panicking, they fight you. Hour after hour, you keep moving. Slower than planned, louder than you want, hotter on any thermal scope than you'd like. Then you hit the next wall. The kid doesn't just need calories, they need the right calories. After enough stress, you don't have a child, you have metabolic collapse with vocal cords. So let's talk food. You're hiding in the shell of a gas station. Power's out. The air is dead quiet. Somewhere outside, a suspicious group is prowling the area, looking for easy prey. Your 2-year-old is on the floor, not crying yet. Worse, lethargic, refusing to move, refusing to drink. Blood sugar hits the basement and the switch flips. He starts screaming for nuggets, for milk, for anything familiar. You shove a freeze-dried ration into his mouth. The texture makes him gag. He spits it out, wasting calories you can't spare, and screams louder. The looters outside pause their sweep. They heard you. A hysterical, hungry child isn't just a problem anymore. He's the reason hell is about to come through the broken door. The critical error is assuming the toddler is just a small adult. Under extreme stress, toddlers regress. They reject new textures, their digestive systems shut down, or kids simply refuse to eat until they hit hypoglycemic shock. If your food plan relies on kids eating what they're given because they're hungry, you're betting your life on a biological impossibility. They will starve, they will scream, they will get you caught. Use familiar, high-density, ready-to-eat foods. Your kit must include commercial toddler pouches and fruit and grain blends. They're heavy, yes, but they provide hydration and a sense of familiarity. Use soft granola bars, not the crunchy kind that sounds like a gunshot in a quiet room. And specifically for family protocol, chocolate, not as a treat, but as a tactical sedative. A small piece arrests a panic spiral by triggering a dopamine hit. We call this compliance fuel. Pack 3 days of food that your child has actually eaten before. Do a field test. If they won't eat the energy bar at home, they won't eat it in the ditch on doomsday. Next important step, packaging noise. A foil MRE wrapper or chip bag creates high-frequency crinkle. In a silent zone, feeding your child becomes a tactical operation. Repackage everything before you leave. Put dry snacks into cloth bags or soft silicone containers that open silently. Tearing creates a snap. The sound of a toddler crunching a dry cracker can be heard 5 meters away. In close quarters evasion, that's enough to lead the hunter's unit right to your closet door. Okay, feeding the child is covered. Next, you must keep them quiet, because a full stomach doesn't equal a quiet mouth. Silence discipline is the next hurdle. Imagine, you're pinned in a crawl space, footsteps above, heavy steps of marauders crunch on shattered glass. They listen for breathing, for rustling, for movement. Your 2-year-old senses your fear. Eyes go wide. Breath hitches. You know that sound, the pre-scream wind-up. You have 3 seconds before he makes noise that gets you both killed. Most families fail here, not from lack of food or gear, but from a lack of silence discipline. Let's fix that. Instinct says shush the kid. Say it loud, aggressive. Wrong on 2 levels. The shush itself is a high-frequency sound. It travels well. The kid mirrors your aggression. If you look terrified, they become terrified and hysterical. Silence has to be trained before the event, not during. Play the sleeping giant game with kids. You give a signal, a closed fist, and everyone freezes. Stay dead silent for 1 minute and get a reward. Chocolate. Tactical chocolate we already covered. The game overrides fear. Do it weekly, make it automatic. When a real threat comes, a trained response kicks in before panic does. You must have tactical tools, but not a commercial promoted on survival guides and YouTube channels. Small, common things every parent knows. First, a pacifier. Even if you weaned them 6 months ago, put one in a bug-out bag. Sucking reflex triggers the parasympathetic nervous system. If breastfeeding, the breast is the ultimate silencer. Food, comfort, silence. Second, a glow stick. Cracked in a dark corner, it can hold a toddler's attention for 10 minutes. Third, a mirror. Hold it in front of the crying kid. They see their own ridiculous face. Brain reboots, crying stops. Sounds stupid, but works every time. There are 2 more games that are survival drills in disguise. The spy game. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you smell? The kid concentrates on answering. Crying stops naturally. You just trained observational awareness without them knowing. Then hide and seek, an ancient game. It trains them to stay silent, stay still, stay hidden. Every childhood game is a survival drill wrapped in candy.
Now, most important, sanitation. It's defense. Fecal oral transmission is the #1 killer of children in disaster zones. Parents let kids crawl on the shelter floor because they're tired. That floor is a petri dish, direct vector for norovirus, cholera, and E. coli. The sick kid is too weak to walk. You need a large pump sanitizer, not a trouble size. A full pack of white wipes, 100 minimum. Sanitize before and after everything. Pack extra underwear and bottom layers. Kids soil their only warm pants in freezing weather. That's hypothermia from sanitation failure. And here's how illness connects back to the threat. Fever acts like a thermal flare. Healthy kid, 98 degrees. Feverish kid, 102. To a thermal camera, that's a beacon. Children's Tylenol is not just for comfort, it's for camouflage. Keeping the fever down is the difference between blending in and lighting up the screen. Here's the dark thought nobody admits out loud. What if I can't carry them? That thought will come, but between the thought and the act is a canyon, and that canyon is called being human. Your job is to make sure it never reaches that point. Kids survive if you train them. And tonight, don't buy another gadget. Practice spy mode for 2 minutes. Because collapse doesn't start when the sirens do. It starts when you realize your family has never rehearsed being uncomfortable together.